that are taking part at Monsterjam Poker Tour Times Square. We are also running a really fantastic competition. So if you are entered into the main event, there's a chance for 5 lucky winners to either win their main event entry back or to win accommodation or some awesome tournament vouchers. So make sure you get down to Times Square, enter into the main event for 15,000 Rand, and join us, of course, to watch the Springboks win the World Cup, and you could be a winner. So we will see you guys soon here at Mjpt Times Square. Good evening and welcome to the final stop of Monsterjam Poker Tour Season 2. It is Times Square and it is all very exciting. Tonight we kick off with a bang with the free roll. Last year we had a record number of players at our free roll and we're pretty sure we'll get the same today. Keep an eye out for all the action on all of our social media. As usual, catch us on Facebook, Instagram and on Twitter, and our stream will be going live very soon, so keep an eye out for that too.
Okay, I can hear. Yeah, I can hear you. Button is at seat 9, eh? Are you seat 9 or 10? Small, big blind. Can I please have small and big blind?
9. Not small. How much is it?
6,000.
Good morning, welcome back to Times Square, Pretoria. This is day number 3 of the 40K, the high roller. We're down to, I think, 18 players or 17. We have 2 tables, feature table for you and an outer table. And we pick up the action in hand number 1 with the blinds at 6,000, 12,000, 12,000 on the big blind ante. And Divan has woken up with a snowman here, 2 fat ladies, 88.
26,000.
And he's going to raise it up to 26,000.
Just be aware of your own surroundings.
So Clyde's a call. That's a fold. And Nick with the queens. Queens, he never folds. He can't have queens. He cannot have queens. That must have been a misread on the reader. And Nick has still got cards in his hand. He's not folded. Okay, so Nick has flopped a set of queens here. Set of eights. Oh, this is carnage. This is carnage. Hand number one. Set of eights versus a set of queens. Don't worry about the flop box in the bottom right-hand corner, people. Listen to what I'm telling you. The flop game, Queen 4 Jack. Turn is an 8.
I think he controls the game a bit better than one. One game, they picked up. Yeah. But I mean,
This is going to be a massive hand, and Divan is going to smash this now. The queen did not come on the turn, okay? So you know out there, folks. The queen came on the flop. The 8 came on the turn. River card is the 4 of spades. And be lucky for the money not to go in here. It's going to be a big race here.
100,000 player 2.
100,000 player 2. Now, Divan, let's switch the camera to Divan. He's going to be asking himself what's going on here. The only hands that are beating me, pocket fours, pocket jacks, pocket queens. Those are the hands that are beating him. Okay, that looks like a re-raise. Let's ship across to Nick. Let's ship across to Nick. I think the money's going to go in here.
268,000.
That's all in from Nick, I'm sure. No, no, it's not. It's not. Just wait, just wait. How much more? So Nick is now saying to himself, what's beating me? Pocket fours. That's what's beating me. Nick's all in. Back to Divan. Back to Divan. Divan's in a world of pain here. In an absolute world of pain. He's got a full house. Has this guy got pocket jacks or pocket queens or pocket fours?
very first hand. Just have jacks. Jacks and queens. Huh? What's supposed to tell you what I got right? Jacks, queens, and pocket fours. That's it. That bet was you got 168. More. You had 100.
He had 100, so it's 168 more for him. So he went all in.
No, no, but he put 100, then he went 168.
268.
268.
This is 200.
Yes, 100%. Three part.
So it's 168 for him.
I thought it was 5. Only doing it with quad fours. Such a big hand. You know what I have, right? Hey?
Divan trying hard to get some information.
I have quad fours. How much was he going me? How much did you start with, Rick? 800.
He doesn't, he's not interested. He's just looking for a tell. If Divan lays this down, this would be the fold of the century.
Feels like quad fours. Quad fours. Probably flat with jack.
Let's just flick across to Nick. Nick giving nothing away. Nothing away. Let's flick back to Divan. This would be the fold of the century. Divan's still in a world of pain. There's not many people on the planet who could fold this hand, trust me.
Show. You show. Show Nick will show. Super obvious. Don't shove on the straight, you. Never shove on the straight.
If Divan puts him on 9-10, then he's obviously going to call. If Divan's got 9-10 in his head, then definitely you can call. Remember, the flop down came down with a queen and a jack. Not the way it's showing in the bottom box there. So 9-10 is a possibility. The jack and the queen came on the flop, the 8 was on the turn. 8 made the set, and if he has 9-10, it made his straight.
Think about a pre-flop of jacks.
And we'll cut to Nick. Does Nick show? Everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to know. Let's clear that screen. Let's see, does Nick fold or does he open? And Divan knows he made a massive, massive fold there. Well done, Divan LaRue. What a great fold, sir. We're going to watch that hand back a few times for sure. That was, I believe, hand number 1. The first hand of the session. Wow.
You don't see 3-bet bluffs on a river. Maybe before the flop and maybe on a flop. I would have done the same with ace 4. After strap the neck.
That's not a bluff. You think in your head.
Probably
with
don't even
ace
call
four.
ace 4.
Wow.
Ace 4, I would have called.
Stunned.
More likely to easy, I would have checked calls. Huh?
Small big name.
The big one. Yeah. You don't need the unicorn now. Damn it, man. I should have just raised him. Too young. Flop, check, check. I thought, mate, must have jacks. What a bad raise I did. What do you want to do? You want to call, yeah? No, I'm going to raise
12,000
you
to
less.
play.
Raise less, man. I know he's going to call.
Divan,
Never
fold
fucking
that,
call. Divan never call.
12 to play.
He's better than you. There's it.
Clive with the ace 4 and a cut off here.
Play one hand and go home. But home's around the corner. Still, I woke up for this. I was quite tired and I woke up.
25,000. Yeah, nice. 25,000.
Such a bad folder. We should fold.
Okay, 2 players to flop.
Check on it.
And Edgar picks up a 3 here. And Clive picks up the 4. So middle and bottom pair. Clive bets.
35,000 to play a night. 35.
Not raising pre-flop.
come on, Wild.
You're well.
Check on it.
That's what the line was. That's what the line was. They score once. Quite a lot.
They don't have much play. They just got the
Edgar checks, check.
Check on it.
So One card straight out there, so a bet could get this through. And it goes check, check, and the cards are over, and the fours will win.
That's a slow roll.
Yeah, he said the four first.
Button is on C3.
On C?
3.
Again?
No, it was on 2.
I don't feel like I've been trying to decline like 3 times now.
It's only the third one.
Whoa, this is going to be a big wallop.
Yeah.
But believe me, they're not going to play like they played against
This is the only.
ever again.
This
in
is
their
only the
fucking
third
history.
game, right? Ever since we started.
I think England were more good than New Zealand were bad.
Eh?
Yeah, I played them.
More good than they were bad.
They didn't play bad.
England played brilliantly.
England played. Is New Zealand?
Small blind is 6,000.
No, but I'm saying they can't play like that all the time. And these guys can't play that bad.
12 to play.
Ace Queen for Jared. Welcome to the table, sir.
30,000 player 7.
That's a raise up to 30,000. Johan has folded. Clive to act. Pocket sixes in the hijack. Looks like a smooth call from Clive. We'll switch around the camera to Nick. And Nick up at $1 million plus now. 7-2 in the bin.
Player 4 goes all in.
The one 211,000.
210. Player 7 call.
Let's stay out of this class together.
Lighter. We're pushing a bit lighter. So 3-3 king. And
I'm here.
okay. Okay, and the river card is academic, and we'll flick to Edgar on the camera. And Edgar will be happy to see that, and Edgar will double up. And we'll cut the camera across to Jared. And Jared will pay it off, and good professional, just move on. We've all been there. Satellites, or the first event for today, will be at 4 o'clock here in the foyer restaurant area for Times Square Casino Maslow Hotel. And that will be a free roll. Yes, you heard it first here. It's a free roll, and 2 seats guaranteed to the main event later on today. 2 seats guaranteed to the main event later on today, and it is a free roll. Come on down, try your hand. Last chance to get into the main event.
I saw if I carried on playing the way I was, I would have made sense.
2 players.
All the numbers.
2 players. You're against 4 other guys.
12,000 to play.
Like 6 or 7 in a row.
What do you have?
30,000 player 7.
So Jared straight back on the horse again, under the gun, raised 30,000. Johan gets rid of his. Clive folds also. No, sorry, Johan is all in. Ace-9 suited. Jared's probably thinking, what did I do to deserve this? And the wall folds. Divan folds. And Jared decides he's not going to double another person up so early in the day.
It's a good thing to have in the repertoire.
What's happening, Jared? They all want your cash, buddy. They're all looking for you this morning. Shame, man.
Excuse me.
12,000 to play.
Not gonna hear you. You need to like clap your hands or something. Don't go loud. And she's there. Hello?
Hi.
Sit like that.
Two still water, please.
Want it weer Oliver?
Huh? Two still. Two.
3,
Make it 4
4.
They should,
30,000
put just 9
there,
around the table.
30,000.
They start there. Everybody wants. Down Wales. Put it under the stick. Good recovery.
Come on.
Oh yes. Oh yes, you good.
Done.
This is a new game.
It's the playoff.
No, but it's starting right now. Oh. I thought it's a replay.
For third place.
Third and fourth. Like with the radio, looks like Prince Harry. It's like you, number 2.
Oh, you're right, eh?
It's like
$97,000. Player 6,
See, when the Ajax
97,000.
play, they just play now, you know. Now it's an attractive game, you
South
know.
Africans play like
67.
Won't. Tight game. Won't. Now that's why World Cup is actually not the nicest rugby when it comes to the playoffs.
So I'm back,
Just sight and
and
control
Divan
and,
picks up 84,000 there,
well
and
when
Moto
we played a
folds.
completely game, a different game when we played the Four Nations.
you don't want to see them lose by
There is another game going on somewhere. I think the All Blacks are playing the Welsh in the third and fourth place bronze medal for the Rugby World Cup.
Easy when you can see the cards.
12,000 to play.
I think that was a good bid. I think anybody else might have played you off.
Yeah, no, but not him. Yeah, I know this. That's what I'm saying. Very few will fold it.
Pocket nines for Nick.
Easily be a 4 that you're holding. Something else.
30,000 player 2, 30,000.
Yeah, and in the blind as well.
4 queen to the second.
And I can tell you the Welsh have just scored a belter of a try. And currently New Zealand 14, Wales 5, kick to come. Nick Anoy pocket nines raised to 30,000, folded around to Johan de Graaf with the suited ace 2.
30,000.
Johan's in the big blind, so already made 12,000. So he's going to call. The Welsh get the kick over, and it's 14-7 in the rugby.
Check the bet.
6-6 Jack. No hearts. Pocket nines
45,000
bets.
player 2.
No chips to play with.
And Johan says if I had chips to play with, but I don't, so it's going to be a fold. And Nick with the best hand, 48,000 gain on the pot. And the rich get richer. Nice one, Nicky. So Nick, after picking up that pot, will be under the gun in first to act.
$12,000 to play.
Nick with 5-3 off. I suspect they'll be in the bin. Moto with King Jack. Nick folds. Moto with King Jack is going to enter into the pot, I think.
29,000. Player 329.
And that's a raise. So it's folded around the divan. Gerard looks down at 9-3. Get rid of those. Queen 2 for Johan. Short stack. Not going to play there. And Clive with Jack 5 in the big blind might defend. No, he decides not to.
Go boy, go boy.
Great boy. Penalty, wow.
Big blind empty.
That's penalty.
To play.
The fold. Edgar gets rid of his cards. Noel 9-6 off. Divan with the King 10 here and the hijack. No money in the pot yet. We'll have a little think about this. They go into the muck. Ace Jack for Gerard. He's going to come out firing here for sure. Second time he's had Ace Jack today. First time didn't end so well. In fact, no, it was Ace Queen. My apologies. Clive also has Ace Jack here, so 50-50 split at the moment. Be interesting to see if Clive tries to re-raise or just flats here. I suspect a re-raise. The raise is announced, so it looks like a min raise.
70,000. Player 9.
That's 70,000. So Nick with pocket tens definitely coming along here. Might even see another raise. That's a call.
70 to play.
Sien as jy is dan wel rugby speel like different like it.
Okay, three-way to the flop. So 4-7 Queen.
Check of it.
Pocket tens are ahead here for Nick. Queen might slow down the action a little bit. Clive in the small blind first to act. Interested to see if he puts in a continuation bet.
$110,000. Player 210.
Raise up to 102,000 for Nick. And Gerald will take his time, but I'm pretty sure he's going to get away from this. He's not going to stick half his stack in. 110 to call, but still, it's a huge proportion of his chips. And I'm pretty sure he'll get away from this.
Not worried about queen there.
And Clive folds also. And Nick takes down the pot with the best hand.
Myself don't look like we were worried.
Small big
I
blind
would
empty.
find that from the spot.
It's by you. You a small blind. Take a small blind. 12,000 to pay.
Yeah, well, that's suitable though. That's better than 10%. I would have spent. That's good.
So Gerald picks up ace queen this time. Jeez. He's getting the hands, but
30,000
not
to
getting
pay
the
a seven.
chips.
30,000.
Okay. Gerald fires out 30,000 again, standard bet. Let's try again. Back on the horse. Nick has got ace 10. Jesus, like they're having a heads up, these two. Moto in the big blind, 18,000 a call. He's got 796 behind. Might decide to defend with these connectors. That's a negative. Flop comes king high, 2 spades, 5-3. This is a slowdown for either player. Jared's going to continue and rep the king, and Nick will fold, I'm sure. Across to Nick.
25,000 player 7.
Nick's got no spades here, so
Very little.
little speech and he'll be away. 14-10 to New Zealand.
Well, they don't have a spade.
That's what I said, Nick. You don't have a spade. And your fault. And well done, Mr. Gerald Solomon, picking up a few chips at that. Hallelujah, he says.
I'm going to hold on to them this time. Like yesterday. I had more than this yesterday.
Guys, cheers. Get had some sushi there. That's right.
Yeah, four is moved.
What did you eat? What did you eat this week?
Why did they move
Yeah.
somebody?
But there's only a Bowser week now.
I can raise it, but I can't afford it.
Really? They're different, sushi. Very different. Sushi. Yeah.
They have this tuna there. This Rapidu and the yellowfish.
Yeah, six
Yeah,
four
that's
moved.
blue. And then they have like normal, and you get medium.
Do you like button is on
all like,
2?
it's like
Small
dark
blind is on
purple.
3.
Yeah.
And big
You
blind
get
is
like
on
normal,
5.
then you get medium fat, and then you get very fatty. The very fatty, it's in the Geary's.
You heard Sipe there confirming the location of the button, the small and the big. And new hand. Divan will be under the gun, ace 7 off. These will be in the muck, I'm sure.
Yeah. No, if I had a
And
spade, I
Gerard
would raise
7-6.
it. Like the runner.
30,000 player 7.
Runner rules.
30,000 the bet from Gerard. Clive folds. Nick folds. Moto with Queen Jack comes along in a small blind. Nawal in the big blind, 18,000 a call. Already invested 12. That's a call. 3 pairs to the flop. Ace 8 king. So Nawal gets the best of this. I'd like to see a bet here around 30, 35.
35,000.
35,000 to bet. New Zealand winning 14-10 at the moment. First half, 28 minutes gone. Gerard, 35,000 a call. Gerard's hoping for something on the turn to help his hand develop, or maybe lining up for some sort of bluff or semi-bluff on the river. Moto-san has got the gut shot 10, and he decides to come along as well. So 5 is no help to anybody. Nawal's king is still good, and she strengthens to 74%.
20, yeah, 20 and a half.
So up, down now.
Because he's going to lose, he's not going to kick everything over. What are you talking about? It's 4 points difference now. Whatever.
So Gerard comes out far in here, 95,000.
Player 7, 95.
He's got the up down. That's a fold. Nawal has to make a decision now. Gerald's looking for 4s and 9s here. Nawal's got the best hand, but Gerald's put a huge amount of pressure on her. It's still 14-10 in the rugby. Nawal folds and it's Barocca time for me. Well done, Gerald. Well played. Well played indeed, sir. That's why you're one of the best in the world. And unlucky, Nawal. Pressure was too much, I think, there.
The button is on 3.
But a nice hand all the same. So chip counts. Nick at 1.2. Up the top. Nawal's going over that hand in her head. But she'll move on very, very quickly. Great player, Nawal. Okay, Barocca is in, and apparently I'm supposed to start doing flick flacks through fiery hoops around the office now that I've got a bit of a buzz going. Okay, new hand, Jared Solomon, King 6. We're not going to play those, he says.
No, no.
And let me tell you, this is an all-in from Johan de Graaf, and I think his all-in's around about 130. Clive with the suited ace is getting out the way sharp. Folds round a motor with Queen 2. Nawal won't hang around here. Divan in the big blind, and I think they're going in the muck also. And Mr. Johan gets it through again, picks up the dead money to the tune of 30,000, and I do believe, I'm looking for the referee, this might be a try for the All Blacks. 1910. Wayne Barnes from England is the referee. Many people's choice for the final, but obviously England made the final. Classic New Zealand move. Wales in possession, drive them off the ball, pick it up at the base, sling it wide, punch holes through the middle, cut back inside, and score just to the side of the post. Pretty poor defence by the Teffies, I must say, but there you go. Under the gun, Mr. de Graaf, those are going into the muck. Jack 5, 9-4 suited for Clive, but in early position will also follow to the muck. 8-3 for Nick, don't think he's going to play these either. And Moto will get rid of his 7-4. Nawal with 9-8 on the button, no, so it'll be the battle of the blinds. Divan with King 2. So it looks like it's a call check, and the blinds will go to the flop. Queen 10-7. No help for either player. First one to blink here, I think. Ace brings no help either. King high still ahead. Neither player wanted to get involved here. And Divan's king is good. And Gerard disinterested, just as a look back at the screen on the wall there. The TV is playing the All Blacks game. So this is the bronze medal game for the third and fourth place, and it's very important in terms of ranking points for those two teams and world rankings. And of course, the top 3 teams in the World Cup who finished first, second and third also get automatic qualification to the next World Cup. Not that Wales or New Zealand are going to need any help, but that's what the rules say. Let's get back to our game. Under the gun is Clive Kikia. Clive took down a massive hand off screen last night. It was pocket kings into King 10, and he was in the hand with I believe Johan to his right there. And long story short, Clive doubled up the last hand of the day. So Divan 9-3.
Come on, Jared, you can do it.
It's not.
Yeah, if it's anything bad, you can have a ball.
So New Zealand lead the game 21-10 against the Welsh. Gerard's in the small blind here with Queen 6, 6,000 to call. I don't think a call's in his mind. Oh, he looks like he has called. No, I'm wrong. Yeah, and classic big raise, put the small stack under pressure, and just take down the spare money, which is about 24.
Which games did you go up? Semis. 2 quarters and 2 semis.
And
Expensive.
Gerald spraying his chips around.
Japan, nice. Huh? Nice Japan. The country's okay, but the people and the culture are different.
So Nick Hanoi will be our under the gun player for the next hand. And good morning to Sipe, our dealer. Always looks so pretty.
Telling them they have this tuna there.
And the lady with 1,000 hairstyles.
We only get yellowfin in South Africa. It's more, it's as different to yellowfin tuna as salmon is to tuna. Yeah.
12,000
Like
to
different
pay.
fish.
Yeah, the bluefin one. The show.
I'm gonna search it.
So Nick under the gun is folding. Moto with ace-10 will come in for a raise here. That's 30,000.
I'm gonna search everywhere for that, for both. I don't think you want to.
Divan to act. You get out of the way. Gerard is giving us a lecture on the difference between yellowfin and regular tuna. He folds. Johan is folding. Clive 6-3 in the big blind.
We don't have a
Clive normally likes to protect his big blind. Let's see if he's going to do that here. Answer negative.
Restaurants that they
Yeah,
will
they
sell
sell
it
it to the Japanese.
And Moto picks up the spare money on the table. And that blue t-shirt without a head is Dylan, our blogger. I call him Bob.
They don't take it, they don't bring it out.
Somebody's going to get that joke eventually.
the lady got
There must be some old people out there somewhere.
20s, 30s, 35s, 40s, a few 50s. But it's normally always yellow. But if there's a bluefin by accident in between, they put it in.
So this is main event day. This is what you've all been waiting for. Get yourself down here this afternoon and get into the main event. The blue ribbon event, 15,000 rands, and the prestige of being the main event winner for the Monsterjam Poker Tour, Times Square, Pretoria. If you're worried about the entry fee, come early, 4 o'clock, 2 seats guaranteed, and it's a free roll.
35,000.
It's a free roll, 2 seats guaranteed, 4 o'clock. Get yourself down here, get a piece of the action, get a seat into the main event. Come sit on our feature table, and I'll make you famous. Guaranteed. Noel raises ace-7, under the gun +1, and I think that's going to get through. Nick is at 7-6 suited in the big blind. Looks like he's going to defend.
Yes, little chips. You find people little chips. It's so lucky.
And Noel saying, no need to call. There's only a few chips. And Nick's like, 7-6 suited in the big blind, defending, chip leader. Have a nice day. And of course, what happens? Nick makes a pair of 7s, and so does Noel. 3 on the turn. Noel's 7 with the ace kicker is still good. What price is 6 on the river here?
20,000.
And that's a bet and a call. River brings a 5, no help for Nick. So Noel's ace-7 is good here. That's whether or not Nick decides to bet. Check, check. Cards over. 7 ace.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
And Noel is apologising for having her phone on the table.
So you tend to forget.
Food there in general.
I was big. See, you were going to go big the wrong time.
I'm not getting hands, I've got to play something.
No, I'm talking about the blind.
Okay, we have a new hand.
Oh, okay.
No, it's one decent hand. Really? I had 7 6 so far.
And I do believe the All Blacks have just scored.
Only because I put 12 in already, right?
Yeah.
Or 24 with the hand.
No, true.
My strike rate isn't that great, eh? Like, I'm not great, but yeah, I enjoy it. It's just like to be outside. Don't take it too seriously.
12,000 to play.
Nobody caught anything.
So Divan has got King 7 suited here. Let's see what he does. He's under the gun +1.
28,000. Player 6, 28,000. 22 more.
So the action's with Nick. Nick folds. And Moto. Nick has folded. Moto with the 10-8 off, 10-8 suited. 2 diamonds for Moto as well here.
Correct?
So Divan now to act.
36,000.
36,000 for Divan.
36,000.
So heads up with Moto. Nick folded. Nick has folded. So we got the wrong graphic up there. It's Divan and Moto heads up here.
Goes like with the charter and then he gets, goes like once every 3 months with his friend.
Sure, correct?
Cape Town. But they have to sail for like 2-3 hours, 4 hours before they get.
Yeah, you only get those ones
That
there.
took him 1.5 hours to get out.
So Moto's made the 10s here.
But let him show you when he sees you because he might be sending me messages while you're on the phone. That's fine. When you see him, you can ask him.
Nice in Dubai as well. Dorados and yellowfins as well. But it's like a dam. So nice to catch them. That's like the way it's like secret nothing. Really, yeah. I just put it on autopilot.
And Moto picks up the pot. And well played, young Moto.
Goes for about an hour after about 60, 70 kg. But I think there's an hour. Really, yeah.
Small bit money.
Catch the Dorados around that well. It's so nice.
Oh, those.
Kon nie so lank aan kan sien hoe kom. Skoon water.
Okay, we've got a new hand here. Divan's under the gun.
12 to play.
Get down both for yourself.
Jack 5 under the gun. Pretty sure those are going into the muck. Gerard's ace 9 offsuit.
25,000. Player 7.
So player 7, 25,000. You heard the dealer. Folded round to Clive. Nick with the 7-8 offsuit. Moto with the 9-7. And a wild Queen 3 in a big blind. She goes to check, but didn't realise that Gerard have actually raised.
Oh, well, and those yellowfins, what does he do with it? Do you eat them?
He eats on the boat and he brings, I'm not crazy about it, so he brings a little bit home. And then the others they sell. It's supposed to taste the best off the as you catch it.
So our under the gun player will be Gerald Solomon. This is hand number 18 of the day.
Like this, and then we just slice it.
6,000, 12,000, 12,000 on the big blind ante, and about 11 minutes to go on the level.
12,000 to play.
Koi have a nice tune if you want to get food poisoning. Very nice one. Look nice.
Player 8 goes all in.
So all in for Johan.
It's food poisoning for us.
Yeah, I ate her last time, but the tuna. That was
Yeah,
I was sick for like 2 4 days. I went out.
You actually,
Tomato complained into the restaurant, emailed them, I was so angry. Because it was the only thing I ate that day. I ate all day and then I ate that. Which restaurant? Koi. And then I went and looked on the ratings and stuff, and it was not a lot, but there were people that had complained as well. One person had complained about the tuna. What did you eat? The tuna? Yeah. And you got sick? Yeah, I was fucked for like 3 4 days.
Bad when that happened. Wasted his life.
So under the gun will be Johan.
What oysters?
I was sick once from oysters like that, but I don't know what to do. Yeah, both sides.
And that's more?
12,000 to play.
Johan will get rid of the nut low offsuit opening card there. Jack 10 for Nick, not interested. Moto's 7-2 straight in the muck. Noir looks down at 5-3, no good. Defense Queen 4 is also not going to be very happy sights in the small blind. He might consider some sort of move on Gerard here, but Gerard Solomon to your left is never a good thing. And he gets the walk.
It's so hard, I can't do anything.
Gerard actually had the best hand with Queen 8. Queen 4 was dominated. Here's your chip cans. Johan is still our short stack.
yeah, give us like breakfast when you eat oysters.
One of those there in the bottom and
Oh yeah.
You must always smell oysters before you eat it.
But can you smell that
Always.
there's
Of
something wrong?
course, of course.
Big blind?
What does it smell like?
It smells off. Like rotten.
yeah, when it's fresh you can actually
Yeah.
see when it's fresh.
Yeah.
I look at an oyster and I'm sometimes like,
And it must be
No, just smell it.
milk to milky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is it
12,000 to play.
but it had some stuff on it as well. It's like fancy.
Play 2,000. Player 2.
Player 2, 30,000. Moto's coming along with the 7s always coming. And whilst Queen 6 is folded rapidly, as is Divan's 4-2 on the button. Yeah, they're in the muck. Gerard's not getting involved with Queen 5, and I think Johan's big blind might have to be surrendered here. He might fancy, look, he fancies a call even. There's been a raise by Nick and a call by Moto, so he knows there's 2 players in the hand. And he'll be get banking and nobody else has got 8-5, that's for sure.
Oh,
So he's thinking about a flat call here.
lovely.
It's 18,000.
How's the poker there?
Yeah.
very, very good. That games every day.
Yeah. 7 cash table in a weekday.
And the binds, is it equivalent to you play tournaments?
Yeah, I play
So 9-10 Queen. Nick flops the monster. Don't know if he's going to get much action. Johan to act, only 1 spade and an
But you
8.
can play it back here.
Doesn't want to get too fruity here. Across to Nick. I like a check from Nick, but looks like he's going to bet.
Here in South Africa, you
He
can
might
play
scare off the customers.
the slips.
No, they took the tax there. Why would they have done the check?
3 overs to Moto 7s, and we'll go across to Johan, and I'm pretty sure they're going in the muck also.
No tax. And the cash games, like,
Yeah.
you can win millions, no tax.
That's weird.
So we got about 6 or 7 minutes on the first level of the day. Levels are 1 hour. We take a break every 2 hours for the players to go and get a comfort break, etc. Reminder, there are 2 tables, 15 players left in.
What, with a queen?
14 players left in, my apologies.
But there's so
I was
much
going for the
content
bottom
around
one.
the world, eh? So much everywhere.
Nick Noy will be our under the gun player. Lots of chatter on the table about Clive's recent trip to the beautiful state of Goa in India. If you ever want to play poker, get down to Goa. It's a stunning, stunning place. Lots of Spanish, Portuguese influence along that coastline. Table quiets as the new hand begins. Gerrard is on the button here with 9-8, decides to get out of the way. Johan to his left in shoving mode. Queen 5 in the small blind, and he is all in, so he's looking to steal the blinds off Clive here. And Clive will simply show his cards. Let's flick back to that picture. Johan's not going to show his cards for sure. And Johan will pick up 24k. It gives him another rotation. So don't forget, we got a free roll, 4 o'clock. That's a free roll, 2 main event seats guaranteed.
Not to India. I just don't like the overpopulated stories.
No, but we must help him.
Child to play. Just get like very sad.
She don't even want to go. It's so exciting.
45,000.
You really don't want me to play this
Yeah,
time.
45,000.
You upped it by 10,000.
So Noel with the jacks here, raised to 45. Divan with the 7s. And Divan's thinking about what he's going to do here. Besides the fold, interesting. Knows that Noel will be pretty strong there.
Me.
It's another good fold. I mean, he won't get any publicity for it, but it's another good fold there by Divan. He knows that Noel's not raising light there. Quite possibly she's got ace king, ace queen, or a hand like she has, all of which are either beating or have a fair chance against his 7s.
Yes, the answer is yes. Go all in, I'm calling. You pro guys must think then. Oh my gosh.
Nick, can I just get my juice back, please?
So I'm getting a bit of flack on social media. All my English friends are asking me who I'm supporting tomorrow, and I sent them a picture of me wearing a Springbok shirt. No comments required. So that's gone down really well.
12 to play.
Couldn't make a bigger track.
You know, do you ever do that? You get a photograph of yourself that someone takes of you, and you get it and you post it. And you think, goodness me, is that me?
Don't get information. No info.
Check this photo on here, boys. This doesn't look like me. This looks like an old man with a thin face. Newsflash, you're old and your face is thin. Oh, get that off the screen. It's appalling.
Check raise.
Okay, Nick is in the small blind here, and he calls. Moto-san comes out raising with his 9-2 in the big blinds.
Once the soldiers are in.
Nick with his Queen 2 suited is having none of it, and it's a battle of the blinds, and there's 84,000 in the pot. And Moto can, it's a check. Moto should bet here. No.
Check raise.
2 clubs on board now. Nicky's going to come firing here. And Nicky checks. I don't think anything Moto does here is going to get rid of Nick.
Just getting content. Just getting content from Springboks.
38,000.
Story doesn't make sense. To check the flop.
Getting content with content only.
If that 8's improved your hand, Nicky's still happy with his flush draw. Told you. Story has to make sense, Moto. Nick's just not the sort of guy that lets go. You need a 9 and a 9 only. That's no good. So Nick has got a lock on the hand. You're going to have to fire here, Moto, if you think you're going to win this hand. And I reckon you've got to put in at least 70,000. At least.
Guys are drunk, right?
70,000 player for.
70,000. There you go. That's what I said. I think that makes Nick think.
The official like MTN bot then was saying I filmed this. So in that video,
Nick has queen high here. If he calls this off, it'd be a super call. And if anybody can call this, Nick can.
I sang our song to them. They hung up the phone and I go, I hope the Springboks performers are better than that one tomorrow.
You know, you're that dedicated.
Perfect size and 70k on the button. Just enough to get rid of him. Nick asking the question. Moto smiles and lies, of course. And that's what you'd expect. And, you know, no criticism there, Nick. Calling with queen high would have been a hell of a call. But a nice hand and well played. Moto got himself out of a hole there, having checked the flop. So, good play. Well done, guys. Always a pleasure. Always a pleasure. Sounds like that is the end of the first level. So our blinds will be up to 8-16, 16 on the big blind. And I apologise to the people who've been watching the stream. We've had a couple of internet outages here, beyond our control, I might just say. So that is beyond our control when the local internet goes out. And of course it's small outages rather than long ones. We do have a backup internet system here, but limited. So we're doing our best to bring you the best pictures we can. Leonard on the stream says, shout out the Springboks, bring the cup home. Absolutely, Buona, absolutely. That'll be Leonard Wilken. And just so you know, tomorrow we will not be streaming, we will not be playing, we will be watching the rugby and hopefully celebrating the whole day. Johan's all in here with the 9/8 suited. 147,000 is the price to play, and that's folded around to Nick Hanoi. Nick with the ace-6, not enough equity there to be calling. Folded around. Nawal's 5-2 is a small thought process for her. There we go. And Johan will pick up a 30k profit out of the hand and continues to grind away. Well done, Johan. Always a pleasure to watch you play poker, and always a pleasure to meet up with you before and chat. Just one of life's gentlemen. Nice guy.
King Jack was up. I'm ahead. How were you ahead? So you had small pair. Fuck. Nah, I can't call that. Just got to.
Top 16 to play. Lines are up, eh?
Say to Jacks.
Psycho.
8,000 more.
There's nothing. Oh, you win now.
Johan gets rid of it under the gun. +1. Clive folds. Round to Nicky. 9-2. Moto gets shot of his cards. Well, no luck either. And Devon will pick up 8k in the big blind, which is the small blind because he put in the big blind and the ante himself.
So always good to steal.
Yeah, I've had a lot of trips now.
Sometimes your hand gets stuck in the jar.
Yeah, and it never comes out. We stuck there.
I think I've never given a
You've given me twice, thrice.
walk ever.
I think it was because you.
Love.
No, because you before that you cracked my aces to 7
So the second half is off and running, and New Zealand are 35-10 up at 43 minutes played. So New Zealand dominating the game against Wales as we stand. But the Welsh not lying down, as you can imagine. Good fighting spirit from the Welshmen. Noto folds, and while with King 7 on the button.
Player 5.
Wales has never beaten the All Blacks. Ever once. Not once. 120 years of playing. I promise you. That's how strong it is actually. And Ireland's only beaten them twice in the last 2 years.
Ireland didn't pitch up to this one.
Okay, 8,000 and 16,000. 16,000 on the big blind ante. This is hand number 27 of the day. 40k in dead money out there on the table from the beginning. Clive Kikya is our under the gun player, holding 649,000 chips. And Bradley Ian Maguire on the stream tells us that he's been watching it from the beginning. It's action packed and thinks that Devan's fold was a thing of legends. I couldn't agree more. Mr. Maguire. So sorry about all the dips in the internet. We're doing our best. It is out with our control. And if you lose any pictures, we do apologize. And we're doing our best to maintain a good picture for you. I also am watching the stream. There's a huge amount of people watching this with a lot of interest this morning. I'm also watching the Wales match versus New Zealand, which is 35-10 as we speak. And now we're watching Jared Solomon with ace 8 suited in the small blind, and let's watch the master at work as he brings on a raise here for sure. And that's selling Mr. Johan de Graaf. You're the short stack. Put your money in if you want to play.
158.
Just don't match. Just don't match.
9-7 offsuit is not going to cut it. They'll go in the muck. No more TV time for you, Johan. And we will move on. 32,000 again for Jared Solomon. And of course the danger is there when you do that, that Johan could wake up with pocket aces. But if he does wake up with pocket aces, there's still equity of 30% pre-hand. And he can still get away with it. The lovely Mrs. Dunlop has entered the fray.
Oh, there's lots of big stacks that side.
I don't know what chips. You were my only hope.
Did you hear what Devan said? He's sad to see you go because you were his only hope to chip up.
16 to play.
I've never won a hand against Nico.
Okay, back to the table. Nikanoi is under the gun with his 1.1 million. 35-10 to New Zealand on the rugby. A huge amount of streamers out there watching at the moment. A lot of interest in this high roller as it gets near to an end. Mr. Solomon, the hooks have arrived. Talking of fishing.
35,000 player 7.
35,000 is the raise on the new level. Seems to be the stock raise. And Johan's Queen 3 is of no use. 9-7 in the big blind for Clive. Not going to get sticky here against Jared Solomon, I wouldn't have thought. Let's see. Let's watch Clive at work. And he's going to call out of the big blind. 9-7. So 2 players to the flop. Flop is 9-7-6. My word. Clive has got a bet here. There's a flush out there. He checks. Gerald bets 20,000. A little bit of a size down. Henny Apple is on the stream doing a bit of homework for later, no doubt. Nice to see you, Henny. Another one of life's gentlemen. Also has been spotted around the East Africa coast playing poker, and I've run into a few times up there.
So no, there's.
So raised to 67,000. Jared is now having a little scratch of the head here, wondering what Clive is up to. Max is online. Nice to see you, Max, buddy. Come and enjoy the fun. Been action packed from the beginning.
Bozo and that other blonde wife.
And the TMO is involved in the New Zealand, the Wales game. New Zealand have scored, but the TMO is having his piece. I don't have the volume on, but it looks like it might be a tap back forward pass. I don't know.
Ahmed?
What would I know about rugby refereeing, eh? What would I know?
And Lam.
It's all a mystery, he says. Okay, so Clive fires back again. I didn't see the size of the bet, but that looks like 100 plus. Yes, 115. Wow. Clive is firing big here. Jared's got 13 outs, which you'll see up on the screen there. Obviously his jack of diamonds is in play for the flush draw. Looking for sixes as well. And jacks. This is a very interesting hand. Clive facing off against Jared. And that's a call. We'll just keep this picture all the way through. River card is ace of diamonds, I believe. So Jared makes his flush. And this is terrible news for Clive. I mean, does Jared think Clive is trapping here? If he does, he just checks back, takes on the pot. If he thinks his jack is good in terms of the diamonds. And we're just going to watch this and listen. Let's listen for Clive's reaction when he sees this come in. The fortune favours the brave. Told you. Look at Clive's reaction. Clive's trying to work out whether or not Jared hit the flush. Clive's perplexed, and we've all been there, Clive. I understand exactly what you're feeling. Played the hand nicely, you did the raises at the right time. And it's one of those what must I do moments. How can I fold this 500,000? Jared already knows he's won the hand. This Clive would have snapped him off if he'd have had the king or the queen. You'll get no information from Jared. Try disallowed for New Zealand, still 35-10. Clive in the tank and in a world of pain. Clive's been in the tank for 2 minutes now.
I was heading for the river. That I'm sure about.
Doopy's on line. El Joan Doopy Duplessis. Simon Smith. Jabal Jetty. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What do you think? Don't have a diamond. That's for sure. Sorry guys.
All the players know this is a massive call, so they're being quiet, letting him have his time. Good respect for Clive here. And all of them will know what this is like.
I'm hoping you don't have ace king. Or you have ace king. I'm hoping you have ace king, but not no diamonds. Pay you off.
It's a call. He'll turn over the cards. And the jack of diamonds. He said, I had you all the way, the 9-7.
Why did you do that to me, dealer?
And of course, Clive wants to know why the dealer does it to him. The truth is, it's not the dealer's fault. And we all know that, by the way. It's not personal.
I built that pot so last week. Oh, that's the best way. Get a new dealer, you see.
And, you know, Clive will reflect on his comments, and trust me, he doesn't want a new dealer. Clive is one of life's gentlemen. He's just steaming over the hand.
I had a lot of outs. Diamond, 6, jack. So put all in on the block.
Ach, never mind. Shady. Don't feel. Ask me to get organized people.
So Shadi just came into the picture. That's Noel's husband, and another great guy. Good poker player. Enjoy his company very much. The Welsher broke away in midfield. One of the big boys has got it. He's running down the park. Tries to offload it. He's surrounded by the black of New Zealand. Managed to recycle the ball. They throw it out wide. And the Welsh 14 has run into another black brick wall inside the 22. Looking like the Welsh in the ascendancy here. They fling it wide out to the left wing. Boom! Big, big black wall again. And they managed to recycle. They managed to recycle. 12 phases, and he's away. One-on-one. Sidestep, sidestep, handoff. Isolated. It's going to be a penalty, I'm sure. Wayne Barnes is looking very closely. The Welsh managed to recycle. Back to the game. All in, Johan de Graaf. Pocket 8s for Noel. Moto is called. We haven't seen his cards. Jeez, it's all exciting stuff here. Lydia's online. Dorian's online. Nice to see you guys. Moto folds. And that's a call by Noel. And we'll go to the flop cam. Noel's 8's in a world of trouble against the queens of Johan. Oh, very late tackle by the New Zealanders and high. He's going to go to the bin for sure. No help here for Noel. Only an 8 and an 8 only. And a double up for Mr. Johan de Graaf. 193,000 the profit. And a very, very, very big shout out and a big welcome to a very old friend of mine, Mr. Sajjad Rajabali. Hello to you, sir. I hope your family are well, and your brother, and just the most wonderful family up there in Tanzania and Dar es Salaam. And we miss you dearly, and I send you greetings from myself and my wife, and hopefully everybody up there is well, and hopefully we're going to see you down here for some poker soon. Welcome to Sajjad. Okay, Noel doubles up Johan, and that's not a good thing to do. Trust me, this guy can be dangerous when he's got chips. Blind levels are at 8,000, 16,000, 16,000 on the big blind ante. 41 minutes to go on the level. This is hand number 30, and Noel will be under the gun. All black still 35-10 ahead of the Welsh. Just like to thank the All Blacks for bringing the trophy to Japan for us. Very kind of them to drop it off. We'll look after it for 4 years, I'm sure.
16 to play.
Nawal is under the gun with 8-5. And looks like, no, Nawal is in the big blind here, that's wrong.
41,000. Player 6, 41.
So Divan is under the gun and he raises it up to 41,000. We will confirm those seat positions. Looks like Clive's on the button. So yes, Nawal is in the big blind by the look of it. I could be wrong, we'll check that in a minute. So let's just get to Moto. Moto is first to act. So Moto has to be in the small or the big blind. King, Queen, 10 on the flop. So Moto checks, a Divan bets. Back to Moto. Moto calls, doesn't believe Divan's got a king. So also, of course, Moto is an up and down straight draw here. 4 of spades is the flush gets there if they had the flush card. So Divan will be cautious of that. Check from Moto. I think Divan needs to barrel quite big. Nope. And another blank on the river. So Moto's queen is good. Let's have a look what Moto's going to do.
Oh, I think it was outside.
If he thinks his queen is good, now he checks. So back to Divan.
Yeah, there was numbers. They should have went down.
Back to Divan. Okay, let's flick. So if he puts a bet in, we'll jump back to Moto and see what his reaction is. Looks like Divan's got a bet. And basically, no, he checks. No, he's checking his cards. He checks back to Moto. Moto shows the queen. We go back to Divan. And Divan will just fold his cards. A little tap of the table and 226,000. 117 of that profit goes to Moto Yohara from Japan. Donny Mitaf has joined us. He's plugged in to want to watch the culmination of this third day of the high roller. We started at 1100 hours this morning and we're into our second level, 37 minutes in, 8,000, 16,000, 16,000 on the big blind ante.
Long blind is player 5.
So our under the gun player will be Jared Solomon, seat 7. And he has got 9-7 suited, so one gappers here. Excuse the noise, sounds like we've got a freight train going outside. We are very close to a hotel reception here, so there's a raise from the under the gun position. Shows a lot of strength early raises. So we have a TMO decision pending for a Welsh try. Looks like the decision on field is try, but Mr. Barnes has referred it upstairs to the TMO. Try has been given. Conversion is good. And the score will be 35-17 to the players from the land of the long white cloud. That would be New Zealand. 36 minutes to go on the level. And I think 20 minutes to go in the third and fourth playoff. Johan has pocket kings here. He's in early position and just doubled up, so we're not going to see an all-in from Johan here. We'll flick to Johan's camera angle so we can see him. But I do fancy a raise here from him. Standard raise at this level has been around about 35. So let's see what he comes out firing with. Doesn't want to invite any raggedy aces to the party, so
It goes all in.
he goes all in. I'm surprised he does that, but looking just to pick up the spare money and chip up a bit. And you'll see everybody going through there folding. And he flips them over. Gerard sees the Cowboys. And we will move along to hand number 33. Time to stand up in the booth, stretch the calves off. Barocca is kicking in now, so I am now officially awake. So this is the busy time now, the business end of the tournament. We're getting the end of the 40k today. Then we've got a free roll with 2 guaranteed seats for the main event at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Then the main event will start at 7 p.m. this evening. Just can't wait to see that event kick off. And don't miss it. Don't miss it. Going to be a great prize pool, great poker, great people, and just a great Monsterjam Poker Tour experience. Clive Kick here wakes up with pocket queens here. The ladies are not out alone again. 1 red, 1 black, 1. And sizing for Clive under the gun will be interesting. As I said earlier with the kings in the last hand, it's been about 35-40. But he doesn't want to invite kings and aces to this party, so Clive's got 290 in chips, so still got fighting chips here. No need to get too excited too quickly. And there comes the raise. That's 30, 40, 42 by the look of it. 42,000. Moto folds. And Noel got caught out earlier, queens v8s. So maybe she might be a little bit more cautious with the 6s. Let's see. I don't mind a flat call here. Go off, do a bit of set hunting. Gary Jenkolo joins us online. I think that is a flat call from the wall. Oh, Divan's got the 8s. Here we go. Divan was very cautious with a raise and a call earlier with pocket 7s and got rid of them. And Divan is the king of the folds. I think he might have made a misstep here because I don't think Clive's got a fold in his armory here when it comes to queens. So his money will probably go all in as well. No slow roll there. And Noel has now got a decision. And we'll take the camera angle on Noel. And she's got a fold for sure. You're never calling all in Noel with 6s. It's not going to happen. She's going to think it through, think about the ranges of the players that she's playing against. And she'll be very cognizant of all of that detail. But once again, you know, good players don't make rash decisions. And she's taking her time, working out what a call's going to cost her. Does she have any money left afterwards? Etc, etc. And the answer is you're going to be all in to call, Noel. That's the answer.
This is such a good triple up for me.
Such a good triple up. And it could be. But it's a gamble. But let me just tell you, Noel, if I could shout, I would. You're behind. You're coming third.
Sorry guys, just give me another minute or so.
No problem, Noel. Take all the time you need.
You really don't mind.
And Noel's such a great player. So, you know, nobody doesn't mind giving her time. She's not one of these junkies who needs to be on TV. She's seriously considering this as a call. So it's still 35-17 in the third and fourth playoff game. I think they've played about 65 minutes now, so 15 minutes to go in that game. And a good fold there by Noel. And she'll see that it's a good fold, and we'll go to the flop cam. So it's 2 fat ladies versus 2 pretty ladies. No help for Divan. check. So only an 8, and there's only one if the river comes. We'll cut to Divan. He will leave the table. We'll cut across, stay on this picture.
I raised. He went all in, you went all in. It would have been a. Because I mean, it's little chips I have.
Yeah, but
But I was thinking I could still possibly come back with this.
yeah, you know,
And we didn't hit a 6, so no, we didn't hit a 6. So Noel's fold was good,
And yours behind.
and Divan is out. I mean, two big hands, and Divan is out. Mr. Stelio has joined us online.
Bye, Devon.
I happen to know Mr. Stelio is coming to play in our main event this evening, travelling from Dar es Salaam. And we're looking forward to seeing you and Mo down here. And obviously, I always look forward to seeing you anyhow, and Mo. And hopefully you're enjoying the coverage here of one of your home players, Moto, who resides up there in Dar es Salaam. And Moto holding his own against some of South Africa's best here. And quite likely we might have a balancing of tables and a new player joining us. We will see momentarily. And Clive has got his happy face back on. And why? Because he's just taken a player out. And well played by Clive, and unlucky by Divan. And Divan will be remembered for a long time for many things, but that fold this morning was just unbelievable poker. Unbelievable poker. Anyhow, I had breakfast. Well, I sat at breakfast with Mackie and Alex this morning, Stelio. So they told me all about the fact you're coming for the main event. So we're looking forward to seeing you, buddy. And I know my wife will be looking forward to seeing you. And of course, your travelling buddy Mo as well. So safe travels, and see you tonight. If you're here early enough, there is a free roll. And our friend Moto is under the gun. King, Queen under the gun for Moto. Expect to see some sort of action from him. Welcome online to Ricky Sandler. Nice to see you online, Ricky. Don't know if you're going to come and join us for the main event tonight. It'd be nice to see you.
40,000. Pair for 40,000.
And there comes the raise. Very strong from under the gun. Noel's got another pocket pair, and she's going to put it all in straight away. And I've got a suspicion that might get through. Moto will have a think about it. He's got chips aplenty there. And decides to fold and gives it up. So a bit of fold equity there for a bit of fold equity for Noel. So newsflash, if we lose one more player, we will go to final table. One more player will go to final table, and you will recall I have told you before, the only time the feature table ever goes to 10 is when we go final table. So obviously we're down to 11 players now, and that's the news that's just come in on the radio from our tournament director, Dave Rolfe. So thank you for keeping us up to date, David, and thank you for all the good work you do out there on the floor. Action is on Jared Sullivan, Queen 4 offsuit, 1.1 million in chip holdings. That was following that huge hand earlier against Clive. Pocket jacks and two pair flop, 9-7 for Clive. And Gerard ran out 4 diamonds, and he had the jack of diamonds in his hand. So Clive with 7-6 offsuit in the small blind. He's got his chip stack back up to 622, following the all-in with Divan earlier. So ace jack versus ace 4. Gerald pairs is 4. Check. No change. Moto's action. We'll see Moto, I'm sure. He's checked. Gerald bet is here. And let's go to Moto. And Moto's looking like he's a non-believer with the ace jack. That's a call. So Moto needs any ace jack 10. 4 diamonds, no good for him, but great news for Gerard, who makes trips. Value bet coming. 154 in the pot. I like something around 65 to 70, maybe a little bit smaller. And he may get paid off with the ace high, but unlikely.
105,000.
105,000, so 2/3 pot. And I expect Motor to get away from this. This is a hero call of note. What are you beating, Berto? What are you beating? You got ace high, buddy. He's looking at the double paired board and thinking his ace is good here. That's what he's thinking. So he's got to put Gerald on an ace or a 4 or another pair or a 9. And he's thinking maybe I'm drawing to a chop here. A lot of noise outside. Clock has been paused, so I'm assuming we're down to 10 players. And Gerald will turn over the 4. And there we go. But we'll just ask Dave if that's final table. So okay, it's confirmed. We're gonna have to go do some chip counts, etc. So we're gonna run a couple of adverts here, and we'll be back in a few minutes.
Monsterjam Poker Tour Times Square is well underway, and as I'm sure almost all of you know, South Africa has reached the final of the Rugby World Cup. Now, we will never ever take our supporters away from our Springboks, so we have got some great news for you guys. Not only do we have reserved seating for main event players that are taking part at Monsterjam Poker Tour Times Square, we are also running a really fantastic competition. So if you are entered into the main event, there's a chance for 5 lucky winners to either win their main event entry back or to win accommodation or some awesome tournament vouchers. So make sure you get down to Times Square, enter into the main event for 15,000 Rand, and join us, of course, to watch the Springboks win the World Cup, and you could be a winner. So we will see you guys soon here at Mjpt Times Square. Good evening and welcome to the final stop of Monsterjam Poker Tour Season 2. It is Times Square and it is all very exciting. Tonight we kick off with a bang with the free roll. Last year we had a record number of players at our free roll and we're pretty sure we'll get the same today. Keep an eye out for all the action on all of our social media. As usual, catch us on Facebook, Instagram and on Twitter, and our stream will be going live very soon, so keep an eye out for that too. Monsterjam Poker Tour Times Square is well underway, and as I'm sure almost all of you know, South Africa has reached the final of the Rugby World Cup. Now, we will never ever take our supporters away from our Springboks, so we have got some great news for you guys. Not only do we have reserved seating for main event players that are taking part at Monsterjam Poker Tour Times Square, we are also running a really fantastic competition. So if you are entered into the main event, there's a chance for 5 lucky winners to either win their main event entry back or to win accommodation or some awesome tournament vouchers. So make sure you get down to Times Square, enter into the main event for 15,000 Rand, and join us, of course, to watch the Springboks win the World Cup, and you could be a winner. So we will see you guys soon here at Mjpt Times Square.
Some pictures. Okay, we are back. We have a live microphone. We have a final table, which we'll introduce to you as we get on with our coverage. And we have some poker royalty in the commentary box. Gerald Glass, how the devil are you, China?
I don't know about royalty, yeah, but maybe one day I'll be
I anoint you royalty. It's official.
awesome. Thank you, sir. What a legend. Love being here with you. You're doing such a great job as always.
Thank you, my China.
And yeah, thanks for the invite.
No
into
problem
your-
at all.
Into your cave, your man cave.
Yeah, don't tell everybody where we are. We don't want people knowing where Batman lives, eh? And it's important.
So yeah, just an awesome final table. I'm really, really, really looking forward to watching this one go down.
And you've got the ringside seats, eh?
And we got the ringside seats next to the G-Man.
So I've got lots of people on online, and we're just answering some of those questions as they come in. And Ahmed wakes up with pocket jacks here right off the bat. So a standard raise of about 40k at this blind level. We're still at the 8, 16, 16 in the big blind ante. So stock raise of 40, Jared.
Yep, standard. Let's see what Clive does, yeah.
Clive's with the suited ace-3 and a cut-off. And he's got Nick and Edgar to his left, and Nick can be a little unpredictable. I think that's my polite way of saying we don't know what Nick's going to do.
And he's woken up with a bit of a hand, yeah.
Yeah,
So
ace-10 suited on the button, so looks like a flat. Yeah, it's a call of 40k. Georgie has got the fat ladies, the two snowmen. And we've seen eights about 5 times this morning.
Wow.
And they've not won yet, so doesn't bode well for George. But George is not afraid to get chips in. Looks like a smooth call as well.
I think it's the right play.
No, that's all in. That's an all in from George Levine.
wow.
Now, Ahmed has got a decision to make here. And Ahmed is just looking for a cant here. Ahmed has got 1.5 million, so he hasn't got chips to burn, but he's got chips.
No,
But
I can't see him folding this, eh?
George has put in 342,000, which is a bit of fold equity. It's enough to keep them on their toes, huh?
What's Ahmed in there for? He raised to 40. I can't see him folding this, eh? Yep,
No.
there we go. Now let's
Let's see what
Nick
Nicky's
does.
going to do.
Yeah,
I think Nicky's going to run for the hills.
surely.
Nicky's chip leader if Ahmed wins this. Loses it, sorry.
What's Nick got behind him? 1.3.
Yeah. I can't believe Nick's going to call this off. Nick is, prepared to gamble sometimes, prepared to get involved.
It's amazing. First hand final table, eh?
You see the one this morning, super sick with Divan. Hey,
Unreal.
that's a thing of legends.
You were telling me it just during the break, yeah. Can't believe, guys.
Okay, Nick's going to fold, I think, so let's have a look. Yeah, they'll go into the muck. So open cards, jacks v 8s. We're going to go to our flop cam. So George Levine with 8s, 2% against the 97% of the jacks. So 2 outs, no maths required here, Jared.
No maths required.
6-5-3 on the flop, no help.
4
2
will be-
cards to come, 5% dog.
And there we go.
And there we go. Ahmed will double up. We'll lose George Levine from seat number 1. And the only happy people there will be Johan, who gets more room for his chips.
100%.
So George is away. Always a pleasure to have George Levine on a final table. And George was there to win it. He wasn't messing around. Money goes in.
Love Georgie. But you can't run good every single hand. Huh?
Yeah, there is that. And the 8s seem to be the hand of doom. Remember, the aces and 8s were the dead man's hand, with Doc Holliday got shot in the back when he was holding them down in Tombstone all those years ago. If that's to be believed, of course.
Just it's such a great final table. This I'm just looking at the faces, yeah.
It's a who's who. And I think the only person that's really unknown at this table is Moto Yohara.
Yeah.
And I actually know Moto really
I
well.
believe so. You were
I've
telling
played a lot of poker with him, a lot of cash with Moto.
Seems like a great guy.
Yeah, he's a gentle person.
Yeah, he looks.
I mean, he's a small guy in stature, but very, very gentle. But you get him sat there with $5,000 in front of him in cash chips. He can turn into a bit of a beast. Trust me.
Genuine.
Yeah, he's a He's a real good cash game player and loves the four card version of the game as well. So Moto under the gun here, and we didn't pick up. We haven't got a problem with our reader number 3. Moto is trying to help us out by smoothing the cards across it. So we will have infrequent readings. Unfortunately, we can't take the table to bits mid-tournament to fix it. So
Fair enough.
we're hoping that the gremlins may leave and it will come back. But it all adds to the excitement. So under the gun +3, Ahmed bets out 40k standard. Jared is ace-7 off, under the gun +4, so mid position. Clive gets rid of his holdings, 96 off. Nick with the king-2, they go in the muck. Fold to jack-6, and Johan also folds, and Ahmed gets that through. A long-range steal by Mr. Ahmed Rungood Karim.
Unreal how he runs.
But what a great player, and what a great
Absolutely,
human being.
Absolutely. I've been fortunate enough to get to know him a little bit better this series.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, man, can only say good things about him, eh? Fun to
Well,
watch him.
and also his good lady, Lauren, the power couple of poker.
Yeah.
Took over from me and my missus, Shells, eh? We're just morph right now, eh? So Lisa Samimovic is online. Nice to see you, Lisa. Hopefully you're going to come and play some poker with us. Always a pleasure to have Lisa at the table. Daniel Lamberti. This guy is having a good year. Picked up a trophy down in Vegas at the Win a couple of weeks ago.
Lambo can play, eh? He's been grinding the circuit a long time.
Well, you know, he calls himself an amateur. I think he's joined the ranks of the pros a long time ago. He just happens to have a day job.
Absolutely.
And a nice fella as well. And you know, Lambo had some business up in East Africa, so I quite often saw him up there on the East Africa swing as well.
Oh, cool.
And he would join us for a meal and some poker. And Clive's got Huey and Louis here, so he might be off set mining looking for Dewey. let's see what Clive does. And under the gun +4, so just past the mid position on the table. Nick to his left, then Edgar to play. And that's stock raise again, or just over 42 by the look of it. Or was that 32? 42 it is. Ace Queen for Nick, and hand grenades incoming.
Interesting to see what happens here. I love those twos, eh?
And Nick will smooth call with his Ace Queen in a hijack, staying well hidden behind the parapet there. 7-4 for Moto, they're in the muck. So we're going to be heads up here, Clive and Nick. What price an ace on the flop? Ace Queen just to make it interesting. So Clive has, as expected, 3 overs to his twos, 9 on the turn. Check. Nick will bet here for some value, and I'm pretty sure Clive will get away from this.
100%.
And don't get upset, Clive. It was a low pair, and if you missed, there will always be 3 overcards on the flop. That's how it works, no?
Absolutely.
Yeah, indeed. So chip counts, Ahmed at the top, 1-9. 3 millionaires in the thing. I mean, sorry that left us a bit quickly, but it's the timing of the machinery. And Noelle, the only lady at the table, but do not discount Noelle. That is for sure.
Yeah,
she's got game.
Poker. She's really playing good poker.
I sat next to her the other day in a game, and she was pushing it around, I got to say. And yeah, I've known Noelle a few years now, and a poker family. A real, I mean, Tariq when he's on his game, their boy. Shadi, who's actually sat off to the side watching his good lady play, and always there to support his good lady wife. Those are the legs of Divan LaRue. So Divan hasn't left the building yet after that sick fold and then the unfortunate all-in. Noelle was 7-3 under the gun, and I think she's folded those. Ahmed with the nut low 3-2. And Gerard has got ace-jack here. Gerard's ace-jack a couple of times today, and actually not actually landed anything with it.
Yesterday he made some nice hands with ace-jack. One in particular was against Bozo.
Okay, and Bozo's not with us, of course. He obviously got knocked out. He was on one of the outer tables, and just the standard 40k raise. So that's the come to dinner bet at this table at the moment.
Let's see what Edgar does. He folded. Moto on the T's folded.
Lambo gets out of the way with his junk in the big blind, and Jared will get the respect he's due. And we will go on. So back to the chip count. So 3 millionaires on the table. Johan is our small stack with 272. And as I've told our viewers many times before, if you become a big blind number, it means you have 20 big blinds or less. If you are a percentage number, it means you're not in the 20 big blind range. And here in the booth, 10 big blinds is the danger zone. And Tony Simmons online. Tony, how the devil are you? How did the filming of the latest Jurassic Park movie go? He looks like the actor of Jurassic Park. We give him so much flack. Love you, Tony.
Legend, 100%.
Expect to see you at the main event. Expect to see you making some noise. Hopefully you and Maxi Boy and the families will be down later. If not, we send you all our love, brother. 10-7 for Gerard. They're in the muck. Daniel Negreanu would never have folded 10-7 suited. Trust me. Not last World Series, the World Series before. I got some great video footage of Gerard sat across from Daniel Negreanu in the main event. That was a great moment. Nick Anoy here has got Ace King suited and he limps. It's typical Nick. Big hands. Let's have a little limp, see if we can stay hidden. And why not? He's doing well for himself. So Moto's put out the call there on the button, so he's got position. It's folded around, and Ahmed 9-7, Ace King, King Jack, 2 suited hands, 3 suited hands, should I say. And there's a little bit of everything for somebody here apart from Moto.
Just Ahmed Curry.
Yeah, so he's got a pair here with the nut flush draw. Well, the flush draw, sorry, should I say. And of course, ace high for Nick with a king kicker. I expect Ahmed to fire here, 70 or 80. 51,000. That's quite a small bet into that pot size. Nick is coming along for the ride, and Moto maybe gets out the way. No real potential with 2 black cards there. 6 is a blank, unless you're looking for an up-down straight draw or something. Two diamonds, 2 hearts on board. Nick won't love that, but his ace is still in good shape.
Now he's definitely saying to himself, why didn't I just re-raise pre-flop?
Well, that's the way Nicky likes to play. And I mean, you know, Nick has got 1.3 million behind, so there must be something to his formula.
No, fair enough.
So what's Ahmed going to bet here? 100 and something? 130. 180, yes. I mean, that's asking a question. And, you know, anybody who can answer that question quickly, it's the man opposite, Nick Anoy. Nick will not be afraid here.
Definitely putting that.
No tanking from Nick.
No.
And Ahmed will be thinking, uh-oh, problem.
Here comes the heart. It's Ahmed. Not.
No, it's 5. So Nick is golden, 673,000 in the pot. Only way Ahmed wins this is if he fires really hard and gets Nick off it. And do you want to be bluffing Nick Anoy? The answer is negative, especially when he's got ace king. Ahmed will have already put him there, and it wouldn't surprise me if Ahmed's shut down here. I don't think he's going to get Nick off.
He doesn't need to. I mean, he's got 1.7 behind him.
There's the shutdown. There's the check. Does Nick value here, or does he take the check?
Can I put out a bet? I reckon 220.
Well, 673. A half pot is 335. And some change, you know. So
I'd love to see.
oh, it's a check. He wants to see what he's got. And there's the ace king. And look at the eyes hoovering up the information of that
100%.
table.
Solly's like,
Wow.
wow.
Nick's still linked in his big hands.
Edgar's like, whoa. Edgar's also been playing some great poker this year. Featuring overseas. He had a nice one. He was telling me last night. I think it was in
Vietnam.
In Vietnam.
Yeah, I saw the footage. Edgar and I are good buddies. I know his
Nice
dad
guy.
very well. Dad, Dr. Antanzana
Okay.
down in PE. And Edgar's just one of those solid gentlemen as well at the poker table. So, Gerard Solomon, people keep writing to me and say, it's not Gerard, it's Jared.
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 I have the same issue, Gare.
Yeah, no, you're one R, he's two R's.
Yeah,
It's easier to call you. And, yeah, I blame my English major and being a pommy, so just
Yeah.
live with it, people. Live with it.
And Steven Gerrard.
Yeah, indeed.
Hey?
Bloody Steven Gerrard. Who was he? Is he a soccer player, wasn't
Yeah, he was.
What would I know?
He doesn't walk alone.
he? Ah, there you go. Nice pun there for the Liverpool fans. Clive gets rid of his suited connectors. Nick with ace 6, under the gun +2. He's going to have a little think here. Or why don't we just have a little stab here? What's that? 40k. Ace 6 suited. Love your work, my friend. Moto's out the way. Lambo with a king jack is having a little think on the button, but decides to get rid. Nawal's queen 8 will not be long for this table. And Ahmed with suited connectors and paint may decide that he'll just renew his friendship with Nick across the table and call here, or maybe even a little repop here.
Be interesting to see what happens.
Looks like a smooth call, and we're going to see 3 cards. And if 3 hearts on the flop could be interesting. Well, there's 3-3-3 for sure.
1 heart.
So full houses are plenty. Don't put either player on a 3 here pre-flop. So
Nick will see bet, Ahmed will fold. Yeah.
And to be fair, Nick does have the best hand, even if it's a semi-bluff.
Absolutely. Standard play.
Yeah, indeed. So Nick is 1.9, approaching the 2 million mark. And playing nicely, you know. It's his own style. It's nothing ABC. There's no GTO about Nick. He plays his style. And, you know, and people respect him for that. He's always there or thereabouts. 100%. And, you know, you pay your money, you take a chance, you know.
Yeah. And he is always there, hey? And
So Debbie's online there. Debbie Zaki Korea. She said, let's hear it for the filly on the table. Come on, the well. I didn't understand the last 2 words there.
Shaya Malinga.
Shaya Malinga. That's obviously some language I do not understand. And I apologize if I'm insulting anybody, but go Noel. Us here in the commentary booth, we're not allowed to have favourites. We are Mr. and Mrs. Impartiality. Yeah. I know that Gerardio has got a particular favourite at the table, but he has been warned. I do have him connected to the electricity, and if he does wander off the beaten path, we will switch on the volts, and he will get a jolt.
I'll keep it professional and silent. Show mate, a good,
I also have a favourite here, but it'd be wrong of me to say that is as well. And I'm buddies with all of the people at the table, so you know it's not like you know, we're a small community.
Yeah.
But we've all got big hearts.
Yeah, very close community. That's one thing that, as a newcomer to the scene, you know, really, it's awesome. Just the family vibe, you know. Our guys are traveling around the country together. I was speaking to Nawal and Shad last night, and they were just saying to me they often get together with Ahmed, you know, and Lauren and their bra, and
yeah,
for
amazing, sure. Well, they're the Cape Tonian angle there, and they're actually sat shoulder to shoulder there, strangely enough. But no quarter given on the poker table, you know. As I always tell anybody that I'm talking poker, there's no compassion. Leave it at the door.
Yeah, I find it fascinating. Like there's some real close relationships. Nicky's picked up kings.
So is Nicky going to limp from under the gun? Answer no. There's the standard bet. That's me saying come along, not stepping outside the norm here. Edgar's out the way, 6-5 for Johan, and Moto folds, and we're around to Mr. Lamberti with King 10 suited, and this is where it's a call. This is where Nick gets people like King 10 involved by just putting out a standard bet or a flat call, you know. Very trappy, very limpy, and not a strategy we would recommend to young recreational players coming up. Nick has perfected the art, so we'll let him just carry on perfecting. And like I say, you can read all the books you want. At the end of the day, play the way you want to play. So 3-10-9 is going to get Daniel involved here.
Yeah, guaranteed. 10 hard board.
Nick is going to smash it out here. He's going to let him know that he's ahead.
80,000.
And Daniel will think this through. He won't immediately fold. And looks like Lambo's a non-believer. Told you he was going to get involved. And that's the
You know,
beauty
I
of the small raise
I
early.
was just going to say exactly that. That min raise is so disguised, but
Ouch.
look now.
Oh
Exactly.
dear.
You know, that's the.
And Nick will know that Lambo. Nick checked immediately there. He will know that Lambo called with the 10. Let's swing back to Nick. Nick will fold this. What do you think? Nope. Let's see what happens. King on the river, carnage. Oh, that's good. Boated up there.
Oh wow.
And yeah, we talk about Nick and his play, but Nick is also good enough to get away from stuff like this as well.
Sure.
I mean, oh, there we go. There's 200,000 for you.
200,000.
And you know, this is fairly polarized, Jared. You've either got it or you haven't.
Nah,
Nicky will open fold
it's
this.
not his first rodeo.
Yeah, I told you he's a sick puppy, this boy.
Right.
I wonder if Lambo shows him his cards. So flick to Lambo? No. Consummate professional.
Listen,
Have a nice day. You can keep guessing. Watch it on the stream in 30 minutes. Have a nice day.
I honestly think that in that situation, you know, Nick, he just guys know each other now. You know, Lambo's not going to put out a bet on the turn nor the river unless he's got it.
And it's not ABC poker we're talking about here. We're talking about, you know, polarized betting here. And, you know, let me just say something for you. Lambo is a momentum player. And he's got momentum now.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
he's flying. Trust me.
Looks like he's really enjoying himself.
Yeah, I mean,
Nice and
he does
comfortable.
take punches hard, but when he gets back up, he comes back firing, you know. And I've watched Lambo play, and I've watched Lambo grow, and you know, I have a lot of time for Daniel.
Stunning guy, I
He's
really enjoy
a
him.
super fella. A lot of time for him, and you know, I just enjoy chatting poker with him. I've got to be honest. So Mr. Antinzana gets out the way. Johan gets out the way. Moto also 3-2 is out the way as well. So we're all the way back round to Ahmed. Ahmed's in the cutoff here. Not interested there. Of course, he's got Jared Solomon to his left, which is not the best person you would want to be picked on your left, of course. And Jared, without a doubt, a world-class player. 73rd in the World Series, of course. And that might be old news, but he's still poker celebrity in South Africa when it comes to that story.
Absolutely. I was just messaging him yesterday and just telling him how unreal I think he is, because it's just a
You're having a
pleasure to watch these
bromance
guys.
there, eh?
Pleasure to watch these guys, you know, for someone that's trying to learn every day, you know, how to improve on this game. It's
Oh,
just
for sure.
incredible to have these guys to, you know, to bounce things off, and Solly always makes himself available.
So Nick had limped his ace-queen here. And guess what? 2 pair.
Wow.
There's a flush draw here, of course, and there's obviously the straight draw on board. So Clive with the 3 is getting stubborn here to 10-3. Clive looking for a jack here on the river, and that's not going to help you, brother. And no hero call required. Nick should bet here.
I'd love to see him bluff the flush. Here he goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Clive's got it in him. He's got all the moves, Clive. Well, I mean, it's 88,000 in the pot. If he's going to bluff the flush, 60,000
Yeah,
plus.
it comes. It'll be interesting. I think
Nick calls him off all day here.
Exactly.
37,000 per
Yeah, look, a snap
Yeah,
call.
snap.
And he'll turn over 10-3. And Nick, what are you doing, brother? Look at Clive's face. That's just classic.
Classic. Like I walked straight into that.
Yeah. Classic Nick Hanoi there. Classic Click Hanoi. Oh, I love this game and I hate it as well. You know, just so sick. And Clive will be bruised, but he'll pick himself up, he'll come back, and he'll come back punching, for sure. Clive had a nice run there down in Goa. I was speaking about it earlier on the stream.
Yeah, he
He's
won
just
there, hey?
he won a WPT small event down there.
Awesome.
Got back to Pietersmaritzburg for 2 days, and he's back already back in the saddle, you know, and off he goes.
Yeah, the guys, the love for this game here is so incredible to watch.
Well, Clive, is a great student of the stream. He watches everything, and he'll cut pieces of the stream out, send it to me. What did you mean by this, and what did you mean by that, and what was your comment? And half the time I don't remember. I have to go back and unpack the memory box. But that's the 1 minute warning on the level. So we've been playing, well, not an hour because we did break for whatever, but we're still 8 and 16 on the blinds.
20 past 2 local time now, huh?
Yeah, and we apologise once again for the cutting of bricks outside, the noise and all the rest of it. We are in a public area and there's not much we can do about it. So the time locally is just coming up to 20 past 1. My laptop is still working on Tanzanian time, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Ace King for Nick. And
Just picking up
Lambo's,
hands,
yeah, Lambo's just bet 40 here. And Nick is looking down this and just smiling to himself and saying, how wonderful is it to be me? Let me just flat call Lambo and trap him here.
Be interesting to see.
Last time this happened and these two faced off, there was a 10 for him. And you know, this is just unbelievable. Lambo picks up at ace 10.
And Lambo won't be able to see this.
No, this is just a setup, eh?
This is such a setup. And I mean, Nick, what's he gonna do? Flats?
35.
Then
So we're on a quick 10-minute break for the team at the table, but we're going to see this hand through to conclusion. Oh,
no,
this is going to get Lambo in trouble.
yeah.
This is just so sick. This is just a terrible game, you know. Lambo's played so well.
You know, at the club,
He snaps off the 50.
yeah, the club's gonna save him, I think, a bit.
Yeah. And that'll be that. We're going to take, well, what's left of a 10-minute break. Well, 9 minutes and 11 seconds. I'm going to get Jared to come back after the 10-minute break.
Sure.
I think you're quite interested in wanting to go to school on this.
Absolutely.
So, as they say in the TV business, we're going to fade away for 5 minutes and we'll be back very, very shortly.
Monsterjam Poker Tour Times Square is well underway, and as I'm sure almost all of you know, South Africa has reached the final of the Rugby World Cup. Now, we will never ever take our supporters away from our Springboks, so we have got some great news for you guys. Not only do we have reserved seating for main event players that are taking part at Monsterjam Poker Tour Times Square, we are also running a really, really fantastic competition. So if you are entered into the main event, there's a chance for 5 lucky winners to either win their main event entry back or to win accommodation or some awesome tournament vouchers. So make sure you get down to Times Square, enter into the main event for 15,000 Rand, and join us, of course, to watch the Springboks win the World Cup, and you could be a winner. So we will see you guys soon here at Mjpt Times Square.
And welcome back. 10,000, 20,000, 20,000 on the big blind ante. The second level that we're entering with the final table. Down to 9 players. Lost George Levine early with the pocket 8s. And our under the gun player will be Moto Yohara from Japan. And Moto sitting on 807,000. I just spoke to him in the break very, very briefly. How are you going? I said, he said, I get no cards. I said, you're getting them, they're just not the right ones, China. Ronnie Albertsy just joins us on the stream there, so welcome, Ronnie. So that's what people are watching. I have it on low resolution because it's easier for the internet. That's what people are watching, and these are their comments from the live. Okay, so we're off and dealing.
Because you had it with you, the two cards. What was here? So the top one came to the bottom.
Okay, it's a misdeal, so Moto will remain under the gun, no change in the button. And a regular who's who of Poker Africa, with the exception of Moto, just going around the table. Bottom left, Johan de Graaf, Moto Yohara, Daniel Lamberti, Noel Jafta, Ahmed Karim, Gerard Solomon, and somebody away from the chair there, Nick Anoy, and then lastly Edgar Antanzena from Port Elizabeth. Can't remember who's missing out of that chair. Clive Kikia from Peter Marisburg. That's who's there. So Moto is still under the gun. Send her a picture there. Can't really miss him with that shirt on. Yeah, seat 1 is empty, but Johan has slid around there to take some of the space. We didn't see Moto's cards. 7-5 for Daniel Lamberti. Under the gun +1s. Suited 1 gappers. Not really that valuable so early in the hand. Noel will get rid of a king 8. Under the gun +2. Ahmed with a 7-4. So we had a request to move Johan to seat 1, but we'll just carry on with the action here. Gerard Solomon leads no introduction. King 9 suited, 1.3 million behind, and raises it up. Looks like 45,000. It is 45,000. So the standard raise has gone up from 40 to 45,000 at the table. Johan looks like he's shipping here. So in the big blind, Johan has shipped the Jack 5. And plenty of fold equity with 327,000 behind, and Gerald will fold those his King 9. So nice little move there by Johan. There's your chip counts. So we've got 3 millionaires. Daniel's closely approaching millionaireship. Lost the last hand there with Nick Ace King versus Ace 10. Both of them made 2 pairs, so the 50k was paid off by Lambo on the river, and Nick gets richer. So Dave, our tournament director, is showing off his haircut. Doesn't make for good TV. Get out of the way. Thank you, David. Actually, David can't hear me, but I like to abuse him anyhow in case he watches the stream back. Daniel and Bertie will be under the gun, so small blind for Johan, big blind for Moto. And Daniel will be the first to act. So Daniel and I played a lot of poker around Africa. He used to come and visit with us in Tanzania and Kenya when we were playing that swing up there. And a very accomplished player and a good businessman to boot. Noel gets out of the way with 8-2 under the gun +1. Ahmed Karim been very quiet since we came back. 6-4 under the gun +3. Suited 1 gappers into the muck. Clive is back at the table but not playing the 10-6. Nick will have a look here for sure with Queen Jack. This is well within his range and he's in the cutoff, so we'll see a 40 to 50k raise here from him or a bet. I should start doing the lottery if I keep getting these numbers right. And Edgar has the King Jack here, so that's a call, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's a call. Johan gets out of the way. Moto still has a card dead. So 2 pairs to the flop, and we'll go to the flop camera. And the flop brings us news from the front. Both players hit their jack, and this could be an interesting hand. So Nick is behind here, as you can see. Nick bets his jack with a queen kicker. A snap call by Edgar. Alarm bell should be going off now. 2 outs for Nick. Only 2 queens left in the deck. So 9 brings no real help for either player. I suspect this is, it's gone check, check. No, it's not. It's gone check, and Edgar's decided to bet out 100k here. Nick is thinking to himself, I've got to be golden here. 100,000. In it goes. That's a call. Nick is drawing to 2 outs on the river. Needs a queen and nothing else. The river does not deliver. Nick loses the hand. The only way that Edgar can lose is if he folds. Check and check. And Nicky will see the bad news that Edgar's kicker plays. 470,000 in the pot. 260,000 profit to Edgar. And Nick gets knocked off the top of the pops, and Ahmed takes his spot. Actually, I think they're level. Okay, Noel is on 15 big blinds. Johan on 14. Nick and Johan on 15. And once again, just to remind you, if you get a percentage number, it means you've got more than 20 big blinds. If you get a big blind number, it means you've got no percentages and you're down to big blinds 20 or less. Okay, Noel will be under the gun, 298,000. And Noel, our only lady at the table, but as I said before the break, don't be put off by that. Noel is a very accomplished player. Played a lot of poker around the country with Noel. And her and her husband and her son all play. And just coincidentally, her daughter has got 350,000 Instagram followers. But I won't give out her name because that's not right. Speak to Noel, but she's very proud of her daughter. A real celebrity. Okay, Nick with ace-6 here. He'll like to play this for sure. Likes to mix it up in pots, and you know he's got the chip leads. He's in the hijack position, so I fancy 45 again here, standard race. That is indeed 45,000. Edgar will get out of the way with the deuce king offsuit. Johan's queen 3 is of no use on the button, and Moto continues to be card dead with a jack 4. Lambo's Lebanese aces here, the old jack 9 and the big blind are going in the muck, and Nick will pick up the spare money, total of 50k. So welcome onto the stream, Darren Kramer. Where the devil are you? Last time I heard you were watching the semi-final of the World Cup in Japan. Please drop me a personal note, let us know where you are, let us know if you're coming, let us know if you're going to abuse us, let us know if you can do some commentary, and just let us know. I saw Nick Sisu last night and he said he had no idea, didn't know you were in Japan. So you must be keeping a low profile, Mr. Kramer, that's all I can say. Ahmed Karim under the gun, 1.6 million. Ahmed will be first to act in this hand. Ahmed left the picture there in the blue sweat top, not that you need any introductions. 4-3 suited. Too early in the hand for him to be playing. Early position, these will go in the muck. Gerard Solomon looks down at 8-4, they're also going in the muck. Clive Kikya, 5-2, under the gun +2, goodbye cards. Nick, wake up, it's your turn. Ace-9, hello, thank you. Under the gun +3, Ace-9. And Nicky's shown a propensity to want to play these type of cards. So once again, the standard raise will come in, I'm sure. Folded round to Johan, and it's now up to Moto. We don't know what Moto's got behind, but it's a flat call. We're going to be sweating with Nick here. We don't know what Moto's got. Ace Queen from the wall. A couple of hand grenades required here, I think. Yep, there we go. There's the hand grenades. And she shoves it all in. We'll click across to Nick, who will fold this. He's not going to be wasting money with Ace-9. You're a handsome man, but get off my TV, Nicky. You can't call that, China. He knows that Noel's range will be reasonably tight. She is in the big blind, but that's not going to impact his decision. 278 is a good bit of fold equity, and Nick will fold.
213.
Expensive is what it is, Nick. Expensive.
It's 100.
That's
240.
200, sorry.
240, 233.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmed. We always appreciate your input.
233, yes. 233. Thank you.
This is the folding face for Nick.
233 only.
Wow. I cannot believe he's going to call this off. Sure. If I'd have been a betting man, I'd have betted on a fold, for sure. But what do I know? I'm sat in here. They're the guys playing with the big bucks. Told you.
You just made. You just
And across to Moto. Moto snap folds. We don't know what Moto had, but Noelle shows the ace queen. Look how strong I was, building her image for the next hand, and she picks up 100k in that pot. So no small gain. 19 big blinds for Noelle. Johan is bottom of the pile with 15 bigs, looking to make a move. And trust me, Mr. De Graaf can make the moves. Exciting final table here today. Very, very good players all round. One player will be Jared Sullivan, 73rd in the World Series this year. Poker ambassador and poker royalty in South Africa. And just an all-round good guy. Gerald with the Queen 7, the computer hand. Apologies for the noise outside. We're, I think we've got a train being built outside or something here. I have no idea what's going on. So that's a fold. 10-7 for Edgar. That's the Daniel Negreanu hand. He would never have folded there. Moto Queen 6. This is a frustration call in the cutoff. Okay, Moto's going to pull a little bit of a move with the Queen 6 here from the cutoff. Daniel gets out the way. Noelle gets out the way. Ahmed with the 8s is going to repop this for sure. Don't like a smooth call here. I like a raise. Ahmed will cup his hands together, lean back, have a little think about it. Standard process for him. About 3 or 4 more seconds. Little glance down at his chips. There's the little glance. And he decides to smooth call this. Staying hidden with the 8s. So the snowman versus the suited queen. Flop comes Jack, Ace 5 rainbow. Slow down for everybody. Check by Ahmed. Snap check, by the way. Moto needs to put a C-bet in here to continue the story. 120 in the pot. I'd like something around 70. 55,000. 2 overs to the 8s for Ahmed. Simple question. Do you believe the man from Japan? Answer negative. Flat calls. Okay, Moto hits the miracle card, the queen. Ahmed has got 1 out. So check by Ahmed. Across to Moto. Moto will continue the story here. For sure.
Check.
No, Moto, what is wrong? And if they're checking here, they're checking the river.
Check or bet.
This is a bluff card for Ahmed if he wants to play it. And has Ahmed shut down, or is he going to rep this? He knows there's a 1 card straight out there with a 10, so it's a dangerous play to try and bluff Moto off this. He might decide to check, and then Moto will take the check back. Nope, here they come. 100 and something for sure.
180,000.
180,000. Let's go across to Moto. And Moto's going to replay this in his head. Moto raises, Ahmed calls, Ahmed check, Moto bet, Ahmed call, Ahmed check, Moto check. River card, Ahmed bet 180. Moto in the tank. And Moto is a cash player, so tournaments are relatively new in his armory. And well played, Ahmed. Maximum pressure, good size bet at the end there, and got rid of Moto. Ahmed will store that away for another day as well. He'll make sure he knows the bet sizing that got rid of him. And classy play from Ahmed, very classy play. And for those who are students of the game, you know, watch these guys and learn. Watch these guys and learn. Okay, wait for our dealer to shuffle up and deal. New hand. This will be hand number 51 of the day. Clive Kikya will be under the gun. Clive centre of picture there, just returned from Goa, picked up a small WPT title in India. And nice man. Comes from Pietermaritzburg. I know his family very, very well. Pocket queens. The ladies never go out alone. One black one, one red one. And Clive is, the standard bet's been about 40-45. I fancy Clive coming in a little bit heavier than that. Wants to thin the field from early position. What do I know? What do I know? 20. That's a come to dinner bet if I ever saw one. You're fishing in a big pond here, Clive. So Edgar's already out of the way with his 6-4. Johan with the ace-9. Shoves, of course. And he's got exactly what he wanted there, Clive. Got exactly what he wanted. So well played, Clive. You put the hook in the water. Ace-queen from Noel. Now she's going to be in a world of pain here. I mean, definitely looking to get into the money here. Mark Freeman joins us online. Nice to see you, Mark. You know, you've had a raise and you've had a re-raise all in, and you're sat there with a suited ace-queen. I'm sure if she could see the cards that are already out, she would certainly be folding. Tough decision for Nawal, but I think the right decision would be to fold. It would be disciplined, but it's the right decision. And she's going to call. So we get out of the way, and it gets back to Clive. Clive's now thinking, what on earth happened there? You don't fold queens, Clive. It just doesn't happen. Clive is doing his Phil Hellmuth impression as usual. Okay, 3 ways to the flop here. Noel was all in as well, that's why it's gone through. So queens versus ace-queens versus ace-9. The 9 is live a little bit. Well, not live, but what price 2 spades on the flop? There's one of them. And no luck. Queens are holding. Looking for aces here. And a 2 for a chop between the aces. And there's a king. So Clive will triple up here. And he will be a happy, happy bunny. I don't know if Nawal, I think Nawal has got about 70 or 80,000 left. Johan will be gone for sure. And always sad to see Johan leave the table. Good friend of mine. Having a stretch as I stretch in the booth. We're stretching together. It's a new thing. And we're going to take some time to do some maths. Sorry, I'm just switching mine on.
Keep it low, you say.
So it's 456. 456. Good luck, everybody. This one is 456.
Got more than you know.
So he's got more than you.
Okay. Can count it. It's 280. It's 398.
Okay, well done, guys.
Well done, Nawal.
And it appears that Nawal will be leaving us. She has actually been knocked out. Our count is slightly off, so Nawal is out. And Johan is out. So the field has thinned, and fairly soon the ICM considerations will be coming into play.
All goes there. Did you count it out, huh? Yeah, he had less than 300.
Okay, so let's just look at the payouts while we're waiting for the hand to commence. Sixth place, 94,600. Fifth place, 132,440. And sorry, the tournament director was calling. 170,280. 321,640. Second place, 491,920. And first place, 681,120. South African Rands. So our tournament director is just sorting out who's who in the zoo here. And we're moving a few seats around just to give people a bit more room. And this is all about keeping our players comfortable, keeping our players satisfied. So just a quick update. The orange chips are worth 1,000. The black chips are worth, the red chips are 5,000. The black chips are 10,000. And the blue chip is a 50,000 chip. So quickly again, chips in play: orange 1,000, red 5,000, black 10,000, and blue 50,000s. This is a new chip set to Monsterjam Poker. You won't be familiar with it. Recently brought in to subsidize us. And I believe there is a yellow 100,000 chip as well, which has not been in play yet. Okay, the clock isn't paused, so David is taking up some time with the players, and the players will be keen to get on with this battle. Of course, bear in mind that we have got the main event starting at 7 p.m. today. Don't miss that, folks. Get down here nice and early to get registered. It's going to be a fantastic turnout, and we're really looking forward to our main event. For those of you who want to have a little punt before that, come along at 4 o'clock. 2 seats guaranteed in the free roll. That's 2 seats guaranteed in the free roll at 4 p.m. this afternoon. And that'll be taking place here in the foyer lobby area of the Maslow Hotel Casino at Times Square. And if you don't fancy that, then just come along and rail your friends. And if you don't fancy that, you can listen to me chirping away on the airwaves in internet land. And of course, not forgetting on the add-on, 12 levels before the freeze out, and they're 15-minute levels. In tournament, there is no add-on, 8 levels, 30-minute levels, and you get 25,000 starting chips. Okay, let's get back to our feature table. Ahmed Karim is on the button here, in position. We didn't pick up his cards on the sensor, but he raises it up. Jared to get out of the way. Clive is in the big blind. Clive doesn't like to give up his big blind, so I suspect he'll call this. And Clive with some newfound wealth, 1.1 million, just knocked out 2 players, so expect Clive to start flapping his wings a little bit now, and as I suggested, he's not giving up his big blind easy. 6-4 of hearts, suited 1 gappers, dangerous cards, and certainly crackers as they call them. 2 players to the flop. We don't know what Ahmed has got. 2 king jack, so no real help for 6-4. Option with Clive. Clive needs to continue here or just get out of the way. Flick across to Ahmed. Ahmed will take his time, hands cupped under the table, glancing down, thinking, pondering. Checks it back. Obviously doesn't like that king there. Flush draw on board as well. Ace is and now in play. I mean, Clive has got absolute 0 chance here, I think, but you never know. So now Ahmed looks across, checks out the chip stack, checks out the posture of Clive. looking for any tells or any pickups that he might have got previously. Checks it back. River card is a heart and a king. No help for either player. And the way this hand is played, you know, the first person to bet is going to win. This is a gunfight job. Option with Clive. Clive's going to try and buy the pot there. 130 in the pot. Needs to stick in 70 or so to get this away. 25 is not going to get it done. Clive will turn over his cards. Let's stay with Ahmed. And what happened there? Ahmed re-raised.
Someone has to show.
So he called and Clive folded. So we didn't see Ahmed's cards after all, but he gets 105,000 for his trouble. So it sounds like a busload of people have arrived in the reception behind us. And for you, our regular viewers to our stream, normally we're in a little box and we're closed in, but unfortunately we're not here. And it is a public area just outside of our office. Of course, the integrity of the game is intact. We are in a blacked out office. Nobody can see in here, but there's no roof. So unfortunately, we do get the busloads of people checking in behind us. So we'll just bear with it. We'll carry on and persevere through. Daniel Mjpt in the hijack, folds ace king, unlikely, very unlikely. Let's rewind that, tech team. Daniel Mjpt definitely does not fold ace king there. So looks like Daniel raised it up, raised to 50k. So we've caught back up with the action. It's around to Jared Solomon on the button. No, in fact it's on Ahmed, by the look of it. Let's just change the camera there. Just look if Ahmed's got cards. Okay, Ahmed's folded, so the action is on Jared as the suggested.
Re-raised to 150,000.
Now everybody's sitting here going, what on earth is Gerald Solomon doing with 7-6 offsuit, raising to 150,000? Watch and learn, people. Watch and learn. Lambo's going nowhere, by the way. He's going to call this off. I actually like a repop from Lambo. And Lambo's sending the message back to Gerard here very, very clearly.
All in.
And Lambo's all in, as I suggested. And Gerard will fold this. Let's flick the camera to Gerard. He'll take his time, wants to make sure people know he had a strong hand. Until they watch the stream, of course. Sensed a bit of weakness, Gerard, and he decided to try and exploit it. And now Lambo's come back at him, put him all in. Great play. And Gerard will be folding this, but just take his time. He'll just take his time. All part of poker, this. This isn't tanking or TV time. This is proper poker. Now, if you were at that table, you would have thought that he just folded queens or jacks. The truth is, it was 7-6 off. And a great play by Jared, and an even better play by Lambo. So well played, Daniel. And you'll pick up a little bit of Gerard's change there. And that's not easy to do, trust me. I've tried many times. Okay, top quality poker being played at our feature table here. This is a combination of 3 days of play in the high roller, 40k to enter. Whilst we're waiting for the dealer to deal out, must give a mention to our sponsors, Aquavita Water, supplying us with our dehydration needs. Of course, Regal Hospitality and Events, for which Monsterjam Poker is a part of, and Formula One Technologies, who are providing our printing services. And if you need any printing, copying or communication needs, please go to Formula One Technologies. And of course our partners, Sun International, especially the people here at Times Square International Casino in the beautiful Jacaranda city of Pretoria. And last but not least, the Hendon Mob, powered by the Global Poker Index. Okay, Ahmed Kareem, 8-5, suited, in the hijack, bets 50,000. I think Gerald might be coming along for a little look here. Jared has got Clive and Nick to his left. And look at that, Ahmed is studying Jared here, looking for any tell. And trust me, he hasn't got any. I know. He looks back at him, just gives him the look up and down. And these guys are actually friends, believe it or not. It's like a bloody gunfight. It's just fascinating to watch. Re-raise and a fold, and that'll be that. And well played, Gerald Solomon. These guys watch the stream back, trust me. They're all students of the game. They will watch it back. Quite often we'll have a bit of a discussion. There'll be a bit of a laugh and a joke, but it'll all be stored away, hoovered up and stuck in the memory bank for next time. So hand 55 of the day, 10,000, 20,000. 20,000 on the big blind ante. Daniel Lamberti, 1.1 million, under the gun, will be first to act. Moto from Japan is in the big blind. And Edgar Antenzana from Port Elizabeth is in the small blind.
20,000 to play.
Lambo has ace-2 suited. They're in the muck. That's a mucky ace. We're not interested. Ahmed will play this for sure.
20 to play.
Ahmed likes playing these suited connectors, particularly when it's paint as well.
Raise to 50,000.
So the standard raise is now 50 at this level. Gerald gets out of the way. Pair of threes for Clive in the cutoff. I mean, Clive has got some chips to burn here, some talking chips. He might put the 50 in with a smooth call and look to go set mining. Or Clive actually has a raise in him as well here. I don't know he's going to fold. That's a smooth call. Nicky on the button to his left. Nick gets rid of his cards, and it's all the way folded round to back to Moto. Moto's in the big blind. So he's already committed 20-20 with the big blind ante. So in his mind, he'll be already have a foot stuck in this pot. He's got the suited connectors here. He's not been having any luck, and he'll think these are live. Well, they're not if you're flushing, brother. And you are third at the moment. So looks like Moto's going to smooth this off as well. And we're going to go three ways to the flop. Two hearts and the three of clubs would be entertaining. None of which appear. Pocket threes are ahead, but obviously three overs on the flop, so Clive will not anticipate that. And Ahmed Karim, picture right, checks it. Moto's already checked. Clive checks also, wary of the second pair or third pair there. The other snowman appears, so the board pairs up. Don't think anybody's got a set here. Certainly the action wouldn't allow it, so nobody's going to be thinking that. Moto checks. Ahmed checks. And Clive's got a bet here. Yeah. 180 in the pot. Let's see a half-size bet. Let's see at least 90,000 here.
Bets. 100,000.
100,000. Not a bad guess, Gary. And they get these two boys to fold. And the best hand does win. 130,000 gain out of a 280 pot. So well played, Mr. Kikia. And the crowds in Marisburg will be going mad. Ahmed's still top 1.7. And Moto's got 7% of the chips in play, but over 20 big blinds. Otherwise, his number would show as a big blind number. Just after 2 p.m. in the afternoon, so 2 hours to get your butt down here for the free roll. 2 seats guaranteed in the main event. So if only 2 of you turn up, you'll both get a main event seat. How about that? Easy as that. Main event starts at 7, so order your massage, draw your bath by 6 o'clock, get your food inside of you by 7:15. Be down here for 7 o'clock, and don't miss the start of the main event. Ahmed Karim under the gun, 1.7 million, 20,000 to call.
20,000 to play.
Limp pots are a thing of the past at this table, I'm sure.
20,000 to play.
Gerald with the ace king here. He'll be firing a couple of bullets.
Raise to 50,000.
50,000 standard raise.
50,000. Fold. Fold.
So call from Edgar with the suited one gappers. Daniel in the big blind may decide just to call this off. Decides better of it. So Daniel's a fold. So 10-8 versus Ace King. Let's see what the flop brings. Edgar in position here. So 4-4-6. No real high hope for either player. Edgar's into position. So Gerald will put in a C bet here. Maybe 75.
30,000.
Only 30. Size is down. Says to Edgar, I want control of the pot. Edgar's got a raise in him here.
Raise to 80,000. 50,000 not play.
And he's sending a message across to Gerard. Now we know that Edgar's miles behind, but that downsized bet showed a bit of weakness in Edgar's mind, hence the reason the raise. I would be pretty sick if Solly came back with a massive raise here. I think he's just going to smooth it off. So a good call by Solly. Another 6 helps nobody. Double pair board. Houses are plenty. Check, check. Need to see a 10 or an 8. No joy. Straight gets there, but nobody's really calling with those cards. And we need someone to bet here, and that's got to be Edgar. 100,000 plus.
150,000.
150k. Story doesn't make sense. Gerard's going to think about this and could quite easily call this off with ace high. It's a smelly bet on the river, 150k. Gerard knows it. He's just going to replay the hand in his head. Raise to 50, call by Edgar. Bet 30, re-raise to 80 by Edgar. Call by Gerard. Check, check on the turn. River, check, bet 150. Story doesn't make sense. Gerard knows that. And he's ticking away here. Look at his face. Fantastic professional poker player. And I have the greatest admiration for Gerard in his game. I've locked horns with him many times. And if anybody can think this through, look at him. It doesn't make sense. What did you do that for? Why would you do that? It doesn't make sense. What have you got in your range? What 4s, what 6s, what 5s have you got in your range? Are you calling with pocket 4s and you have me all the way? 2-pair combos out there, you know, the ace 6s and this sort of stuff. It's all going through that computer in his head. All going through that computer. How much am I going to have left if I call off this 180? He'll not be worried about looking stupid, trust me. He's never going to look stupid here. The fold is solid poker. A call is a nice call. I fancy him for a call here. I really do. Fascinating stuff. Edgar's not moved. He just keeps twirling that chip between his fingers. Giving away nothing. Staring down Solly. Edgar's a good professional as well, but Solly just knows there's something not right here. Why did you check the turn? Okay, you get away with